Revenge 30 years in the making. The secret that destroyed two empires and killed love. Elias Sterling stood on the balcony of his penthouse, the city lights twinkling below like scattered jewels. At 60, he commanded a global tech empire. But tonight, all he felt was the ghost of a promise made 30 years ago. His fingers tightened around a faded photograph of a young woman with laughing eyes. Her name was Isabella. And tonight was for her. 30 years ago, Elias was just a brilliant but poor programmer, deeply in love with Isabella, the daughter of a rival tech mogul, Marcus Thorne. Elias had developed a revolutionary algorithm, a key that could unlock a new era of digital communication. He was naive. He was in love. He shared his breakthrough with Isabella's father, hoping to win his approval. Marcus Thorne, a man with a smile as sharp as a knife, saw not a future son-in-law, but an opportunity. He stole Elias's code. The next day, Thorne Technologies announced a groundbreaking innovation, and Elias was left with nothing. When he confronted Isabella, she stood by her father, her eyes cold. She called him a liar, a thief. That betrayal cut deeper than any financial loss. Heartbroken and broke, Elias disappeared, vowing that one day he would burn their empire to the ground. The first 10 years were a blur of sleepless nights and relentless work. Elias built his company, Sterling Dynamics, from scratch in a dingy garage. He was fueled by coffee and a burning desire for retribution. He never looked at another woman. The memory of Isabella was a brand on his soul, a constant reminder of what he had lost and why he was fighting. He watched Thorne Technologies soar, built on the foundation of his stolen dream. Marcus Thorne became a legend, a visionary. Elias became a ghost, working in the shadows. By year 20, Sterling Dynamics was no longer a startup. It was a silent giant, moving with precision and purpose. Elias had recruited the best minds, people who were overlooked and underestimated, just like he had been. He orchestrated his moves like a grandmaster of chess, slowly and deliberately surrounding the Thorne empire. He bought smaller companies, secured critical patents, and placed his people in key positions, all without ever showing his hand. The market saw it as healthy competition. Only Elias knew it was a siege. The real war began in the final decade. Elias started by launching products that were just slightly better, slightly cheaper, and slightly more innovative than anything Thorne Technologies offered. He eroded their market share piece by piece. He'd read articles about Marcus Thorne growing paranoid, firing executives, and making erratic decisions. The strain was showing. Then came the day Elias had waited 30 years for. He initiated a hostile takeover bid for Thorne Technologies. The financial world was stunned. The ghost had returned, and he was now a titan. The board at Thorne Technologies panicked. Their stock plummeted. Marcus Thorne, now old and frail, was forced to face the man he had wronged decades ago. Their meeting took place in the same grand boardroom where Marcus had once celebrated his stolen victory. Elias sat at the head of the table, calm and composed. Marcus, his face pale and his hands trembling, stared at him with a mixture of fear and disbelief. "Why?" Marcus whispered, his voice hoarse. "After all this time, why?" Elias leaned forward, his voice a low, steady hum. "You took everything from me, Marcus. My future, my work. But you also took her. You turned Isabella against me." A flicker of something unreadable crossed Marcus's face. He let out a dry, rattling laugh. "Isabella, you did this all for a woman who didn't love you." "She did love me," Elias stated, his conviction unwavering. "You fool," Marcus rasped, a cruel smile twisting his lips. "Isabella never betrayed you. I did. I told her you had sold the code to our biggest competitor. I showed her forged documents, fake bank transfers. I convinced her you were a traitor who had used her to get to me. It broke her heart. She refused to marry the man I chose for her, and she left, disappeared. I haven't seen my own daughter in 30 years. All because I couldn't stand the thought of her being with a nobody like you." The words hit Elias like a physical blow. The air left his lungs. 30 years of hate, of single-minded revenge, ... All of it built on a lie. Not Isabella's lie, but her father's. The revenge he had so carefully crafted suddenly felt hollow, pointless. He had spent his life trying to destroy the man who had stolen his love, only to discover that his enemy had suffered the same loss. He had won the war, but the victory tasted like ash. Elias looked at the old man before him, not with triumph, but with a profound, aching pity. They were two old fools who had let pride and deceit destroy the one thing that truly mattered. He completed the takeover, not with a roar of victory, but with a quiet signature. He dismantled Thorn Technologies, but not out of spite. He used its assets to create a foundation in Isabella's name, dedicated to supporting young, overlooked innovators, ensuring no one would suffer the fate he had. Elias Sterling remained at the top of his empire, a king on a lonely throne. He had his revenge, he had the power, he had the wealth. But every night he stood on his balcony, looking not at the city he owned, but into the darkness, searching for a pair of laughing eyes he now knew had never really betrayed him. The secret had destroyed 2 empires and killed a love that might have been. And in the end, the only thing left was the silence of a 30-year-old mistake. Thanks for watching. If you were moved by this story, please like and subscribe for more content that makes you think.